Good evening, everyone. Another episode of the Toxic Reality Show. I'm your host, Gordon Nathaniel, bringing to you the live, fun-filled excitement that you are accustomed to. That being said, tonight's episode, exciting one. I did a video, it was a short or a reel. The topic was about, I got my cushion all the way up there for my back, no wonder. So once again, in case you're just tuning in, Toxic Reality Show, I'm your host, Gordon Nathaniel. This is a topic, it's about your prostate, a little bit of men's health this evening. And this also for our fine, feminine, friendly women, a way that you can help your man, your spouse, to have a longer life. Women love to complain, oh, man over 40, he can't use his thing no more, it don't work. Well, let's talk about why. And how, as a duty, as a wife, that some of you may be failing. But gentlemen, the topic is, and I did a reel, I did a short on this very topic. It was only a minute, and I've always promised to go into detail, more than just the shocking numbers. So what are the numbers? The numbers are this. If you have sex or orgasm, let's be clear, a certain number of times. When I read this study last year, the study showed that if you did this at least a certain number of times, we're going to talk about it because I'm going to play a video from the study, that you reduce the risk of prostate cancer by 30%. So I'm going to play this video, and I want you guys to comment, those of you who can. Come in, and we're on Facebook Live right now. We're on YouTube Live, and we thank you again for coming in. Invite you to tell a couple friends to like and subscribe. Get on the show. We would love your support, and it allows us to bring more content. That being said, I'm going to cut to the video, and we'll get the live reaction to it.
Does sex protect men against prostate cancer? What do you think?
Okay. Full disclaimer. Yes. Yes. It's in another language. Okay. I shouldn't say another language. There's a strong accent. That being said, focus and pay attention to the content.
Evidence suggests that ejaculation frequency may be inversely related to the risk of prostate cancer.
Evidence suggests that ejaculation frequency may be inversely related to the risk of prostate cancer, meaning the lower amount of sex you're having, or orgasm, ejaculation is what they're talking about. When you orgasm, you ejaculate, men. So the fewer times that you ejaculate per week, the higher chance of prostate cancer. And what generally happens with prostate cancer for many men? Once they try to cut via laser or scalpel to remove the cancerous tissue, many men lose the ability to get hard. And that's when the women start complaining, oh, you older men can't get hard anymore. Many of them suffer from prostate cancer and the treatment. Let's continue.
An observational study was conducted on 31,925 men with a 18 years follow-up, and the result was interesting.
So 31,995 men were tested in this study, and they followed these men after 18 years. And he's saying that the results of the study were interesting. Now, I believe that the men in the study were in their 20s, but let's continue.
It is seen that men who ejaculate often may have lower risk of prostate cancer than their peers who don't do it as frequently.
This is very important, and I'm going to come back to this, because if you are having sex where you are nutting, you are orgasming, you're ejaculating, you have a lower risk of prostate cancer. Now, this is very compelling because there's a lot of people in the manosphere that may be giving you a counter argument. And that's why, gentlemen, it's important to get your information from multiple sources. Luckily for you, you've come up on the Toxic Reality Show, and or someone has pulled your coat and said you need to see this. Again, I invite you to like and subscribe. And let's continue with what this gentleman is saying.
Researchers followed about 31,925 men starting in 1992, when they were in their 20s and continuing through 2010.
So these 31,955. It's 31,925. The study was started in 1992. These guys were in their 20s, and the study continued to 2010.
During this period, almost 4,000 of the men were diagnosed with prostate cancer.
So during this period, a little over 10% of the men, right? 10% would be about 3,100. So a little over 10% of the men were diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 10.
The study found that men who ejaculated at least 21 times a month in their 20s were 19% less likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer than men who ejaculated no more than 7 times a month.
Okay, so let's break that down, right? He's talking about men 21 times per month. Let's break that down per week. He's saying that you have to orgasm 5 times a week. If there's 4 weeks in a month, 4 times 5 is 20. So at least sex with an orgasm, or even if you orgasm 2 to 3 times in that one night, whatever it is, the amount you do, what they're saying is if you're averaging 5 orgasms or ejaculations per week, which is about 21 per month, your risk goes down by 19%. Compared to guys who are having sex, or I shouldn't say having sex, who are orgasming or ejaculating roughly 1 to 2 times a week. This is very important for you to understand. 1 to 2 times a week ain't enough. 5 times a week reduces your risk by almost 20%. Now, in the study that I reviewed last year, it said 4 to 7 times per week had a 30% drop in the risk of having prostate cancer. You're talking like probably to get to 30, you're talking about 7 times a week that you're orgasming or ejaculating.
Men who ejaculated more often in their 40s were 22% less likely to get a prostate cancer diagnosis.
Very important thing now, right? So if you're in your 40s, and you are ejaculating, right? Let me see if I can get my pop-out chat working on. It's not. No, why it's not working there on that, but let's get back to it. So guys, you're in your 20s. You got to get that. You have to be doing it 5 times a week. Men who ejaculated more often in their 40s were 22% less likely to get a prostate cancer diagnosis. It is, gentlemen, we're going to get to the question that we have to start, the real question. So let's continue.
Although this is an observational study, and more studies will be needed to understand the potential biological mechanism underlying the observation.
So more studies are needed to understand, what could be affecting this what other issues could be a root of this issue. But here's where it continues.
However, it is advisable to stay sexually active, especially over the age of 40.
It is advised to be sexually active above the age of 40. Keep this number. Keep the number in your head. At least 5 ejaculation or orgasms per week.
Studies are ongoing, but some experts theorize that ejaculation clears the body of toxin.
Ejaculation, here's what's theorized now. They're saying that ejaculation clears the body of toxins. Now, once we're done reviewing this video, I want to get to the crux of what this really is. And what does it mean to you, and why you are wise to watch the Toxic Reality Show for the outtake that I, Gordon Nathaniel, are giving you. Which is very contrary to what you're hearing in the rest of the manosphere. But let's continue.
And other substances that could cause inflammation.
So other substances that
and
could
increase
cause
the chance
inflammation. Not only the toxins, by ejaculation clears the body of this built-up toxins, but it also allows, it gets rid of inflammation. Understand, to the human body, that inflammation is almost the cause of all evil in the body. Whenever inflammation occurs, you have other problems that occur. And it's always remove the inflammation. Right? Inflammation is a toxin. Disease or dis-ease will cause other complications in the body.
of having prostate cancer. Other important measures you can take to reduce the chances of prostate cancer, like eating more fruits and
So to reduce the chances of prostate cancer, guys, eat more fruits and vegetables.
Like tomatoes, green leafy
Tomatoes.
vegetables, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, and also soy food. Reduce trans and saturated fat intake.
Reduce trans and saturated fat intake. That means all of that fast food junk, gentlemen. Guilty. Processed meats that are on subs and sandwiches. Got to stay away from those processed foods with trans fat and saturated fat.
Green tea can also help to reduce prostate-specific antigen level.
Which is interesting. Green tea. Gentlemen, I would recommend incorporating green tea every morning. You drink coffee, have some green tea too.
You can try green tea on a regular basis.
Take
sufficient amount of vitamin D.
This is huge. Part of some of the treatment for COVID also said increase your vitamin D intake. And I'll tell you why. Vitamin D is what the body naturally produces when you are outside and the sun, the rays of the sun are absorbed by the skin. But because we're spending so much less time and not really getting the sun via lotions or just clothing, we're not getting enough vitamin D. So you're going to have to supplement the loss, especially if you're not a person who's outside a lot.
Maintain a healthy weight.
Get your weight down. Thank you, haters, especially the ladies that say, oh, Gordon, you fat and bald. Thank you, ladies. Currently down 17 pounds. Thank you for the words of encouragement. I'm well on my way to 195, about 13 pounds to go. So thank you so much. Bless your heart.
Get regular exercise and stop smoking. That will help you to reduce the risk of having prostate cancer.
All right, so let's get to it. A lot of the men in the manosphere will tell you, focus, stay on your purpose, make your money, don't worry about the women, get your money up, Then when you're in your 40, you reach your peak. You'll have all of this money, and you could hire more desirable women that you want. What good is that if 10 years later you got prostate cancer and you can't use your thingamajig? See, you've heard me say and routinely make this claim. No, you should be able to do both concurrently. See, there's something you have to understand about human evolution, right? Let's break this down some. Our society is relatively new in the span of mankind. I mean, it is new. It's a blip. But 200 years ago, 100, you were getting married as a teenager. You had your first child way before you turned 20. You were a grandparent at 40, 45. But life expectancy was also lower. See, the government did their research when they set the initial age for Social Security at 65. They knew most people weren't going to make it. But now with the advent of science and medicine becoming better, more drugs to keep you alive so that the medical companies can make more money. Now they're talking about raising the age 67, 70 because people are living longer. And it's tapping the Social Security reserves. You see, we weren't meant to. Nowadays, average life is 78. We're talking about a time where if you lived to your 60, that was great. Right? So what you got to understand now is, let's go back. Biblical days, 2,000 years ago, the Virgin Mary was 12 to 14 years old. Joseph was in his late 20s, possibly 30, with a 13, 14-year-old. When you think about this in terms of human evolution, what we're doing now is relatively new. So when someone tells you, take your 20s to get your money up, yes. But how you going to get them 5 times in per week? So here's the uncomfortable but real conversation that we need to have. Understand this, gentlemen. It's got to go down 5 times a week as part of your hygiene routine. 5 times a week. Either she gonna do it, or you got to take matters into hand. I know this is a topic that many men don't want to have this discussion, but we have to be honest with ourselves. Somebody's got to do it. Now, is it going to be you? I'm talking about masturbation. Let's call it what it is. Because if you're one of the types that's following some of these guys telling you, and again, this is all based on facts and science. I'm not giving you theoretical. Absolutely, you should get on your purpose. You should focus on your purpose. Wealth creation, right? Because that's where, as a man, you are valued. However, understand that we are from a society that it was assumed mankind, whether you believe in God or the universe, the way we were designed and have evolved as mankind, as men, is that it was assumed by your late teens or early 20s that you were already married. You were already having sex. To the point that you had 5 to 8 kids, enough to work the farm. Right? Kids were also, you raised them, they were helpers, and the daughters were married off with a dowry to increase the family wealth. You might get a couple cows if she's pretty, and some goats and some pigs, which increase the family wealth because you sold off a pretty daughter that can cook, clean, and is a good childbearer, who some other man would marry so he could have 8 kids and have children to work his farm or inherit his wealth. So understand that when you hear these guys taking this, talking about this, focus on your purpose, you still got to focus on your penis. What does that look like? Either she gonna do it, got to take matters in the hand. Now, another interesting concept is those of you who are, and I said this in my short reel, you're in a married relationship, you're in a committed relationship. You need to show this episode. Or, Google it. The relation between prostate cancer and the amount of sex that you have. Google it. You'll find there's a number of videos and studies. Because if she's not doing her part, this almost has to be a duty, a maintenance duty she's doing, similar to telling the kids, did you brush your teeth every morning? Mad, angry, indifferent or not, whether she's having sex or a hand job, be like, all right, this Thursday, you only ejaculated twice. We got 2-3 more to go. Mouth or hand or sex or whatever else you guys do. But the long and the short of the story, there goes my phone acting up, making noise in the background. The long and the short of this is this. However it gets done. If she's not fulfilling her duties as a wife or a significant other, what is the purpose? It could be argued she's low-key killing you. And then the nerve. When you're 50, 60 going through prostate surgery, she wants to hold your hand or leave you because you can't perform. When you failed at your responsibility. Now they'll say, well, that's your responsibility as a man. It's not my job to take care of you. When I have breast cancer, or if I have it, I went to the doctor. Yeah, but you don't have a medical condition where it requires you to drain, relieve yourself, ejaculate 5 times a week at a minimum. I'm sure if you do it every day, it's even better. There's no backup. You think about it, all of this stuff, sperm, the ejaculate, sitting in your prostate, and whatever other toxin is in your system, just sitting. So if you're spending months working on your purpose until you have a wet dream, or years working on your purpose so that, you're 40, you're making 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 plus a year, but the damage has been done. Something for you to consider. This is important. Anyway, again, Gordon Nathaniel, Toxic Reality Show. Didn't want to go this long. Thank you for tuning in. But your health is important to me, and you need to hear another angle. You have to find balance. Yes, you do have to be on your purpose, but you also got to take care of you. And it doesn't have to be with 8, 9s, and 10s. There's plenty of 4s and 5s. They're happy to go ahead and have some playtime with you while you take care of your man health. Enjoy that and get back on your purpose after you're done nut. That being said, Gordon Nathaniel, Toxic Reality Show. Send me an email. Tell me what you think.